The summary of modern CPU architecture. CPU, Central Processing Unit, the brain of the computer, handles all of the computation needed to turn inputs from memory and output on your peripherals. CPUs are a general-purpose flexible architecture that take in a stream of instructions from all types of workloads and compute or process information based on those instructions. Gordon Moore, co-founder of Intel, he predicted in 1965 that the transistor density of semiconductor chips would double roughly every 18 months, and it's called the Moore's Law. In year 1945, it is the birth of digital computing. Computers were fragile, slow, and large. Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, ENIAC, were built using vacuum tube technology, which made them huge and unreliable. The word bug is used by the computer pioneer Grace Hopper in 1946 because of a moth trap in their computer that was causing the issues with the computer's hardware. In 1940s, prominent mathematician John von Neumann popularized a new kind of computer architecture that simplified computer design and programming. In year 1950s, semiconductor-based transistor started hit the market, replacing the larger, more unreliable mechanical vacuum tube. And in year 1959, Robert Noyce patented the first monolithic integrated circuit. And in year 1968, several companies were making integrated circuits. Robert Noyce teamed up with colleague Gordon Moore, founding Intel. In year 1971, they unveiled the Intel 4004 single-chip microprocessor for the calculator market. And in year 1972, Intel released the first 8-bit microprocessor, the Intel 8008. And in year 1974, successor release called Intel 8080. And in year 1978, 16-bit 8086 release with its 86 times instruction set architecture. Digital computers use a number system based on zeros and ones. Computing abstraction layers, a generalization of a conceptual model or algorithm away from any specific implementation. Instruction set architecture is used as a design spec that tells the engineer what operation it needed to execute. Key building blocks in a CPU. A microarchitecture is an implementation or specific design of an instruction set architecture. Stages. Fetch, the retrieval of data by a software program, script, or hardware device. Decode, the conversion of encoded format back into original sequence of characters. Execute, the process of running a program or carrying out of the operation called by an instruction. Write back, storage method in which data is written into the cache every time a change occurs but is written into corresponding location in main memory only at specified intervals or under certain conditions. Speculative execution, an optimization technique in which a processor CPU performs a series of tasks before it is prompted to in order to have the information ready if it is required at any point. Microprocessor front end. Predict and fetch. Record and understand and learn the past history of hundreds and thousands of branches in order to make a single prediction. Microprocessor front end. Decode. Micro operations, the strongest connection between the instruction set architecture and the microarchitecture. Superscalar execution can execute more than one instruction during a clock cycle by simultaneously dispatching multiple instructions to different execution units on the processor. Out of the order. Executing out of order is better, allowing code to execute faster. CPU backend a data processing company that contracts with acquirers to provide communication and processing systems that connect with interchange system for clearing and settlement services on behalf of those acquirers. Retirement. The ROB decides that the UOP can be written back safely. That's all the summary of modern CPU architecture.